How do you see us playing under De Zerbi? Because I don't think we can take anything from, certainly not Saturday, and probably not from the 7 games at the end of last season.
Which is why they've moved on from Palhinha, essentially, isn't it? Because they're planning to do something new.
So how long do you think it will take?
How long's a piece of string, mate?
Well, okay,
hopefully we'll see it.
How long would you be prepared for it to take?
That's a good question. I mean, I think you've got that question as an individual versus as a fan base, because, I mean, I've already seen people losing their minds after Brentford, aren't they? The knives are already out in some regards. But, I mean, we've got to realise we're here for a long-term thing, right? I think the trouble is, though, if you don't start seeing green shoots, things turn very quickly. Look what happened to Thomas Frank. I'm not envisioning the same for De Zerbi, because he's already got a lot of credit in the bank from keeping us up. But
I think you need to see progression, right? You need to see progression throughout the season. That's what it all comes down to.
Yeah.
If we end up finishing,
especially, do you think the money has added a lot of pressure to that as well? It's like
100%. Yeah. It has
shortened the time a little bit.
Yeah.
I think it adds pressure because even we saw it last night with Gary Neville. Yeah. Spurs have spent X amount of money, 300,
and it's pretty reported that it's all on De Zerbi's head, right? They're pretty much giving him autonomy, which means the pressure goes directly to him. Essentially,
we know there's no context, and it's all been at the time £250 million Spurs lose at Brentford. Well, who didn't play? Fernandes 85 didn't play. Someone didn't play. It's a brand new team. Brentford were ready
to come in as well.
Yeah. So there is added pressure. I mean, I don't think we're going to have a 2 points and 8 games situation. But
it'd be great to just get a win on
Harry
Saturday.
Redknapp's waiting in the wings for that.
It'd be great to just get a nice win on Saturday, wouldn't it?
But I see a lot of narrative around after the game saying, "Oh, Spurs fans need to temper their expectations now," because there was a lot of everyone saying, top 6 is what Spurs should be targeting this year, and that game has not changed my mind at all. I still think top 6 should be where Spurs are at this season.
If you look at that team, there's going to be about 3 of them will start our proper team, 3 or 4 of them.
There were 4 kids there.
Kinski, Van Hecker, Tonali, and possibly Robertson. That's about it.
Exactly.
The rest will all be swapped.
Like Bergvall shouldn't be starting for us. Archie Gray won't be starting for us. Mikey Moore's going to go out on loan. Richarlison's probably going to be sold. Like, our team is going to look so different, even next week against Newcastle, than we saw against Brentford.
Yeah, I've been saying the season starts on Saturday, doesn't it? That's what I'm hoping.
But that's what annoyed me a bit about Brentford. It's like, I think De Zerbi treated that game as a bit of a pre-season.
Yeah, it's pre-season.
There we go.
It was a pre-season friendly with points available.
Yeah. I didn't get that.
And tomorrow will probably be the same, right?
Like those comments he made about Bergvall in the press conference afterwards, saying, I knew he would struggle and Bentancur might have been a better option, but he had to play. That just didn't wash with me. I didn't like that at all, because there's points up for grabs. It's the start of the Premier League. You play the best option to go and get points in the game, and I don't think he did that.
Do you think he put Bergvall in there? Bergvall had been, so I want to play here, I want to play 8, I'm good enough, I don't want to leave, blah, blah, blah. You think he put him in, because in his head, De Zerbi, this is a pre-season friendly, we're not ready, and that's going to come to your point in a minute, Billy. He went to Bergvall, go on then, mate, show me.
Do you remember Mourinho did that for Troy Parrott in the Cup and we lost?
No, which game was that?
Yeah, I think it was Norwich, was it? And he said... Mourinho,
just before COVID. Was that when we lost on pens?
He said something
Did he miss a penalty that game?
Yeah, he did. Yeah. And then Mourinho said before the game or after it, he said, the fans keep asking me to put Troy Parrott in, so I did and showed them that he's not ready.
Is that what he actually said?
Something like that.
Well, similar to what...
Do you think he's done the same there? Those quotes are baffling, I have
the
to
fact
say.
that he dragged him at half-time as well was...
He said, I knew he would suffer in this game. That's a bit of an admission, isn't it?
Billy, you've had a big up for your top there.
Oh, there you go, Jed Spence.
Oh, it's Jed Spence.
It is. This arrived the day that he got sold. So there you go. Arrived in the post the day he got sold.
Nice.
I think he set up Bergvall a bit to fail on the game against Brentford.
What do you think about that as a strategy though? Is that
I don't like it.
No, it doesn't sit right.
No,
I don't like it because he's a kid at the end of the day. I like Bergvall. I think he's got a big future at the club.
I actually don't.
You don't?
No.
You take it?
Not I don't like him.
50,
I don't think it's a big...
50 mil comes in, you taking
I'd
it?
sell him.
Why don't you think that?
You take it?
It depends who we get instead. Like if you offer me Morgan Gibbs-White or Alex Scott and we're selling Bergvall, obviously I'm doing that. But Bergvall's an isolation. I really like him as a player, and I think he's got a lot to give.
I think he's struggling. I think he came from a very poor league. I think loads of ability, no question, loads of ability. I just don't know if, like you say, if he's strong enough. I don't know if he's physical enough, quick enough for the Premier League. I have concerns.
The way I look at it is I look back to his first season under Ange, where he got our player of the season, right? Playing in 8 predominantly. I thought he was fantastic throughout the season. Last season, Thomas Frank misprofiled him, misplayed him, played him here, there, and everywhere.
He played left wing at some point.
And I think his development took a massive hit last season because of Thomas Frank, in my opinion. This year, I think De Zerbi does rate him. I think De Zerbi values him. And I think under a good manager, profiling him the right way, and I think De Zerbi has done that already by playing him in the 8. I think if he can develop him behind the scenes, I think he can get back on track.
I think you're right. I don't think he would have played him if he doesn't rate him, because I'm not convinced Sarr's injured. I just don't think he rates him, so he's not in the squad. So I think he's really desperate. He probably sees Bergvall on the training ground doing bits, if I can, speak like one of the kids, doing bits, and I think he's really frustrated that he's not turned it into performance. He started him against Sunderland, but he played alongside Gray against Sunderland. He abandoned that whole thing and went for Bentancur and Paulinho, which ultimately probably kept us up. So he said, "Go on, this is a new us. Show me." I wouldn't be surprised if he started him again tomorrow night.
I think tomorrow. But did you guys notice that there was a serious uptick when Fernandes came on there? Right, like that's the level that he's.
I think
that's what he's competing with, and
get a lot better as well.
I mean, Fernandes is not even that much older than Bergvall, is he? So it's like that's what you're aspiring to, isn't it? And I don't think there's a comparison between them currently between those two.
Yeah,
I don't think there will be anyway by the time we see more of Fernandes.
Your take, Billy?
Yeah, so we've already sort of touched on it a little bit, but it's more of a question than a take. But what on earth is happening with preseason this year? I mean, it's just been it was say that Brentford was like a preseason friendly. It just feels like the least prepared we've ever been for preseason. I know there's a caveat of that obviously in hindsight, the Hoffenheim Getafe games, they didn't know what division we were going to be in, so they couldn't book friendlies. So they were like, well, that's why it all seems so rushed, because it was. The Australia and New Zealand tour seems to have taken loads out of our players just in terms of jet lag. The minutes I'm a bit concerned by, but I understand that we're sort of playing this long-term game where we're being very cautious with minutes, but does that mean we've just nixed the short term and we're going to lose the first few Premier League games because of it? Pedro Porro, I was watching Bilbao at the weekend, and all 3 of their Spanish World Cup players paid. Pedro Porro not in our squad, and I think we badly missed him. I'm just a bit confused by the whole preseason. I wonder what you guys make of it.
Frustrated by the delay in Porro coming back. But like you said, Enzo Fernandez came on yesterday.
Porro is the fittest guy. He doesn't need a preseason, that guy. Like he could start, come back and start the next day. And that's the one player I trust to start any game.
Correct.
Doesn't need training, that guy. He's so unbelievably
I agree.
fit.
The lack of minutes for Udogie, Maddison, Van der Ven, I understand had an injury, but I think they're being overcautious. Kudus, I think end of July, he said he'll be back soon. So you're thinking he'll get 20 against Getafe, he'll get another 20 against Hoffenheim, he'll get another 20 against Brentford, and he'll start against Charlton. Obviously, we don't know what's going on. I think Anne said, you guys know 5% of what's actually, but tell us.
Yeah,
that's
the thing. We need to more. If this is a conscious decision to make sure, look, we're responding to the horrific injury crisis, then it would be nice to have a bit more information on that.
You know what it is? It's like, because of what we've been through in the last 2 years with the injuries.
PTSD.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're just going the complete other way. Instead of rushing Kudus back, they're not letting any of the players trade or play. So I can understand it to a certain point of view, but I've seen a lot of kind of narrative about the Australian tour. I mean, you just mentioned it just there. And I look at Chelsea last night. They were also out in Australia. It didn't seem like it hampered them. So what are we going on about here about time differences and jet lag and all this? It didn't affect Chelsea, so why is it affecting us?
But Chelsea didn't have the injuries that we had, so they are clearly wrapping our players up in cotton wool. And if we had one of them here, he'd probably say, "Lads, it's August. We've got to get to May." But as fans, the season started Saturday. And what was that? And I agree, Billy, the Australia tour, New Zealand, on the back of a World Cup.
Yeah. I think the World Cup is obviously a big factor in all of this as well, because, we've had players returning at different dates and all sorts of stuff like that. But just seems a bit, I don't know what you guys make of the 70-minute friendly thing.
Bizarre. I found the whole pre-season
because
quite bizarre.
I understand if that's at the beginning of pre-season, sure. Give them 70 minutes, fine. I understand that. But that was our that was our penultimate pre-season game, and players are getting, half of the squad are getting 70 minutes, and half of them are playing against the under-21s. It's like, just the whole thing feels a bit scatterbrained to me. I mean, I'm not an expert on fitness and all that kind of stuff. It just feels that way from the outside.
It feels like the ones behind closed door were just like a training routine. It didn't even seem like a game of football. They were just so dull, dire, not much going on, not much patterns of play. The ones in the stadiums, I thought were getting better. The one at Hoffenheim at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, I thought was a decent game. Yeah. You saw some good stuff there from Tottenham. But the behind closed doors one, they weren't even, I don't even think they even made it.
Do you think the players feel that as well? You think the players are like, okay, there's 60,000, 50,000 people. This is a game of football, whereas Orange, they were sat down at half time like you were as a kid when you had your little break in your football camp.
Exactly.
They were sat down at half time having oranges. I know that professional athletes are competitive, but there must be a different feel to the whole thing when you're playing behind closed doors, when you're playing in a stadium.
And my thing is, like, I know that obviously football is a global game, and I would never take away the experience of a Spurs fan from the other side of the world. But I swear, when I was a kid, we used to play like Stevenage and stuff in the local area.
Correct.
I think that's great. You can like raise money for Haringey, play in Haringey Borough.
Yeah, but AIA ain't paying you $48 million to play at Stevenage.
Play against Leyton Orient, raise money for Justin Edinburgh, stuff like that. That locality is. I understand the balance needs to be there, and of course, don't mind going to America or whatever. But surely we can play like Leyton Orient at Spurs and give all the money to the Justin Edinburgh Foundation and stuff like that.
I think back then they used to do a few early friendlies like very locally, and then they used to jet somewhere.
We used to play Stevenage all the time, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
we did, and Leyton Orient, I think. But yeah, look, I don't have too much of an issue with going to America, going to Australia. Look, at the end of the day, they're traveling in like 5-star luxury. It's not like, I don't think it's an excuse for me. Going to Australia or going to the USA. Like I said, you look at Chelsea, they were completely fine yesterday. So I think it's mainly due to the overcautious approach that Spurs have taken to pre-season, because you look at who actually played on the tour. Yeah, so many players were missing, so many players weren't training.
But that's also frustrating, as they've slept these boys out there to watch the kids play football. Yeah. If you ask the players, what would you rather do? They'd probably say, I'll stay and play Reading, Luton and Stevenage, please.
100%. 100%.
Because Robertson said he's never experienced jet lag like it, didn't he? And he's a very experienced player, so yeah.
Do you have sympathy with the club with the injury stuff? Do you think they're making it? If it is, we're just wrapping these boys in cotton wool. Yeah.
So that was my question on what I sent to you guys as well, is when are we going to see the benefits of this? Because if we get to January and there's been no long-term injuries, and you can look back and say fair play, it was the right decision, right? I guess. It's going to be the long game, isn't it?
We're always waiting as Spurs fans, aren't we? Literally always waiting. Like last year, we're like, you just wait till our players come back from injury.
This is exactly what I said on our pod yesterday, Ben. I said, I'm really looking forward to Newcastle and Charlton, but Newcastle specifically, because the players will be back and we'll be good. And you spent the last 2 years going, next game's going to be great because he's back. And he would come back, but every week someone would come back, we'd lose 2 more players. Yeah. So I understand the cautiousness, but as fans, let's talk about Brentford. We knew it was going to be tough when you saw the players that weren't available. But I don't blame any players. Yeah, Bergvall gave the ball away a few times, and Kinski made a bit of a flappy say. I don't blame the club either. Obviously, we all like to just point our blame and angst at someone, but we just weren't ready. And as a fan, I said yesterday, I was at work until 5 o'clock. I work on the Premier League games. I've worked on the 3 o'clock games. I was on Saturday. I worked till 5. I was like, do I sit here and watch this game and get home at 9, or just go home, check the score on my phone, listen to the radio? I didn't watch. I'll be honest with you, I watched the last 20 minutes.
You're one of the lucky ones, mate.
Because I looked at the team and I just went, if the club can't be bothered, why should I? And like you've said, Billy, it was like and you said it too, Ben, it was like a pre-season friendly. And I just felt like we weren't ready.
How are we at the stage? Like this is our biggest summer that we've had ever. It's, in terms of everything else, like the transition, everything has improved. Like the communication, transfer spend. We've got the legends in. How are we at a situation where the one thing that we're not ready for is the actual football? That's just wild, isn't it? Like what has happened there?
But do you have sympathy with the club? But they're going, just relax, everyone. The window shuts in a week. The players need a little bit more time. It'll be fine. Or are we right as fans to go, no, you should have been fucking ready for Brentford?
No, we're 100% right as fans. You've got to be ready for the start of the season. Most other clubs were. I know Man United lost a whole, but you look at, I keep bringing it back to Chelsea because I think they're in a similar boat for us, like 1 game a week, big change with Xabi Alonso. Most teams, 9 new managers in the Premier League this season. I don't see anyone as underprepared.
And the thing is, all of our signings signed early doors as well, didn't they? Like they've been at Tottenham since the beginning of the window.
Like Tonali. Tonali's not been at the World Cup.
Yeah.
He had a full pre-season. Yeah. What excuse is there for him not to be ready, where De Zerbi said after the game, he wasn't ready?
Oh, because he's hardly had minutes in pre-season.
And it's just typical, isn't it? Because I remember everyone going, Arsenal are in big trouble this year now. Rice and Saka after the World Cup, they're never going to play. They're not even going to play till Christmas. They come in the first game and they're both absolutely brilliant. It's just, it's typical, isn't it?
It's mad. Absolutely mad.
You did your watch along on Saturday. How was your mood? How was your mood when you saw the line? Did you know? Because like we predicted on Wednesday before the game, we did our predictions, and Adam Nathan went draw, and Jake Robson went draw. But when you're predicting a draw, you probably know, you're saying it without saying it.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be that guy on the pod who says we're going to lose, although I have to say I did because I'm pessimistic +10. How did you feel when you saw the? How was your mood in the watch along? You know, how long did it take before you were like, "Fuck's sake"?
So my predicted lineup was bang on. We got the predicted lineup fine. We also both predicted draws, which
Read between the lines.
Read between the lines, exactly. When I woke up on Saturday morning, or when I started making my way to the studio, I was buzzing. You know, Tottenham are back, Premier League's back, and it took about 25 minutes. 25 minutes. Being oh god, what? Because I expected it to be bad, but I didn't expect it to be that bad.
I think that's as bad as anything we saw last season.
Yeah, 100%.
I really do. I think that's the Igor Tudor bad, that performance. It was that. I mean, you're very lucky you didn't see it. It was awful.
Like we could have shipped five goals in that game easy.
Yeah, easy. I mean, Thiago missed a penalty for once in his career.
Yeah,
to go 4-0.
But like they are one of the most settled teams in the Premier League, and if you're going to go to their stadium with an undercooked team that's not even ready, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, it was one of the worst opponents we could have played for that reason. Performance-wise, any positives? People talked about Robertson.
Robertson was decent.
He put a couple on a plate for Mikey Moore, didn't he? That he should have had two or three assists there. But I think for me, the only bright spot was Fernandes. I have to say, when he came on, I thought he was the only player that looked any good. I would say the whole team was shockingly bad. I was particularly worried about Van Hacker and Tonali having a terrible game just because I had so much expectation for both of them. Of course, they're going to be fine, but it's just that was a shocker.
Is it? Of course, they're going to be fine.
I hope so.
Would you play Fernandes in 10 due to lack of anybody else? Because I regularly forget that Conor Gallagher plays for us.
I don't think you can play Gallagher there. I really don't.
What is he?
He's
I don't know what he is.
Headless chicken. That's what he is.
It's funny, isn't it? We've got 4 incredible 10s: Maddison, Xavi, Kudus, if you include, and Kulusevski, and they're all injured.
Yeah.
Like, imagine the difference that one of those being fit would make. But
would you think about Luca Williams-Barnett in the 10?
Yeah.
For this game,
that's what I do.
Charlton,
I'll do that tomorrow, by the way.
Yeah, 100%.
Sure. And if he does well, then why not play him?
The thing is about tomorrow, right? There is no excuse not to go full strength. No Europe this season. What are we actually saving our players for?
They need it as well.
And they need the minutes on the pitch.
Another pre-season friendly tomorrow.
So I would actually go as strong as possible, but I would put Luca Williams-Barnett in the 10 alongside them all. Yeah.
He was on the bench, wasn't he? I think he was going to come on, but he didn't come on.
It'd be like feeding him to the lions, wouldn't it?
Well, you did it to Bergvall. You want to do it to Luca.
Yeah, I think that was as bad as anything last season, which is saying a lot, isn't it?
I think we'd all have accepted losing because we're used to it.
Yeah.
God, we're used to it. But if we'd gone, okay, I saw something. But what do you expect when those are the forwards? Is it the forwards' fault, or is it a lack of creativity? I think you amount to nothing in this league if you have no pace wide and you have no 10 and you have no creative 10 or whatever you want to call it.
We just got overrun in midfield badly as well, horrendously badly, which I wasn't expecting going into this game. I thought we would dominate the midfield, but Tonali and Bergvall just couldn't cope.
I mean, like, you look at Bergvall against Sangare. I mean, it's a physical mix match. You know what I mean? Like, that guy was phenomenal. Like, he ran that game. 2 assists on the day, physically dominating everyone. I was blown away about how good he actually was.